So long as we have enough people in this country willing to fight for their rights, we will be called a democracy. Those are the words of Roger Nash Baldwin. Ladies and gentlemen, we've made that rallying call and taken this as our civic duty to remind you that you're not only a voter in the next general election, but also come out and seek those elective seats so that you can be in the decision-making table. The first step is to have the national identity card. The second step is you register as a voter. Apply today. This once echoes what the former President Uhuru Kenyatta said. And I find absolutely no reason why Murkomen, Oscar Sudi and the team are attacking Uhuru Kenyatta for Uhuru Kenyatta's call for the young people to rise up and fight for their rights. Interestingly, His Excellency retired President Uhuru Kenyatta urged young people to seize the moment as architects of self-reliant and united continent. He was making a keynote address at the second annual Guild Leaders Summit 2025 in Makerere University, Kampala, Uganda. And Kenyatta framed his message on African challenges, making a clarion call to the youth. You are the last line of defense in the battle to rescue the heart and the soul of Africa. I want us to listen to this statement, and this is what Uhuru said. But before that, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. Subscription is absolutely free. And when you subscribe to our channel, you'll be getting notifications when we publish our well-analyzed, objective, fair analysis. But take a moment and listen to this. And I would want you to listen to all of it so that you put it to the context and you get the tone.
Yeah, he was 23 years old. He's now 88, going 89, still fighting. Some of you have not even touched 23, and you are lamenting. My friend, this is a call to action. Get up and start moving. This is your call to action. Now. Now is the time. Now. Not tomorrow, not the day after, not after you graduate. No. Now is the time. Now. So, like I say, you have the numbers, you have the time, and you have the energy to get involved and stay involved in governance discussions until you effect the change you want to see. Furthermore, you are also the beneficiaries of years of investment in education and digital connectivity. You have the knowledge. You are, in essence, the first children of that knowledge economy, the true digital natives of Africa. The democratization of access to information through the internet means that very few secrets are left. Very, very few. Very, very few secrets. The asymmetry of information in favor of government has always been a tool to manage the perception of populations. This is no longer the case. You know what we know. In many cases, you know it better because you have understood how to leverage the essential tools of today, such as artificial intelligence and the power of social media. Me, when I go and make a small statement somewhere, I think I'll be hidden myself in the middle of the bush. By the time I am getting home for lunch with my wife, she's asking me, what were you doing talking out there? How do you know where I was? It's already, you young people have already pressed these buttons and it's all over. He was there and he said this. So we are living in a very dangerous time. Be very careful, especially of those of you who have two girlfriends. Mujichunge sana. I hear these days they can even follow you, you know.
Uhuru Kenyatta spoke about this in Uganda. He was making an address. That address in Uganda had nothing to do with Gen Z protests that happened in Kenya, even though he's been consistent on his call for the young people to rise up and fight for their rights. So, Murkomen, the Interior CS, and Oscar Sudi are already panting about when young people are called to come and fight for their rights. And Murkomen yesterday criticized the former president for asking the young people to rise up.
Hata wino yenye ulikuwa unasainia decisions kama rais hata haijakauka, lakini suddenly umekuwa very clever na umekuwa malaika haraka haraka. Sasa wewe ndio unatupatia lecture kusema fanyeni maandamano, pigeni serikali. Na jana ulikuwa hapa, hata miguu yenye hata ile penye ulikanyaka ukitoka mlango ya State House haijakauka. Suddenly very clever. This exploitation of our young people is not right. And I want to ask leaders across the political divide. This is not an issue for political gain. This is an issue that we must, all of us, act responsibly. Because the youth bulge is not a question of today. It's been happening. But tomorrow also it's going to be worse. We will have higher numbers. If we don't pull together to jenge factories. Mwana Rais ametembea, ameenda kuuza investments za Kenya so that we can get factories, we can get investors bringing money to employ our young people. This is an area that we must, all of us, close ranks, because as a nation, we need to deal with the issues of our young people.
That criticism on former president is very dishonest. It is very dishonest because the government of the day should appreciate that young people are involved in the day-to-day activities, or rather in the governance conversations happening in the country. For the first time, it is very conducive for the young people to rise up and understand what's happening around them. Nowadays, I see the days when people felt, in my space, that is where I am involved. I'm not involved in politics. Comedians always thought our space is the stage. The teachers always thought our space is the classroom. The doctors always thought that our space is the hospital. The days are gone when that was the situation. Nowadays, every Kenyan understands that his life revolves around the politics of the day. And there is nothing absolutely wrong with the former president asking the young people to join the conversation. Unless, but I want to demonstrate to you why that discussion, Uhuru Kenyatta's running call, is disturbing them. And he's been consistent. When he was in Nairobi, he made the same plea. That was 3 months ago.
Shida ya watu siku hizi, everybody sijui mumeogopeshwa, sijui even you gena, naona rudi uingie hii majenzi, nyinyi ndio the story of the future. Fight for your rights bwana, sio kukakaa hapo mambo mali yenu ichukuliwe na nini, mumeitolea jasho. Msikubali, pambaneni, muhakikishe mumepata haki yenu. Mnasikia nyinyi? Sio kukaa hapo tu, kuna kitu inadumu. But everything is worth a fight for. If you don't fight for it, ikienda mtu asilie. Msimame mupiganie haki yenu. Na mko na hawa watoto wamebaki ambao wako tayari kupigania haki yao. Waungane pamoja nanyi.
He made the same statement and he talked about we need to come out. The young people need to come out and fight for your rights. Usikae tu hapo. You see, that is the running call. That is what the country needs to do. When things are going on wrong, why does Murkomen feel uncomfortable that young people are being called to act? And again, Is Uhuru Kenyatta the first person saying that? Newspaper headlines are running all day. MPs are moving in the streets, and the Gen Z changed. You know, the Gen Z protest in 2024 made a remarkable statement in our political topography, and it has changed for good. Never again will you ignore the voices of the young people. And instead of arguing, the leadership must always try to listen. But I know that Murkomen and Sudi, listen to even Sudi, see the way Sudi and Kindiki are talking agitated about those who are criticizing the president.
Kenyatta alikuwa na bahati moja, na lazima tuambiane ukweli, alikuwa na very strong deputy president. Alikuwa anamkinga kabisa, unaelewa? Sasa huyu anapangia wake, tofauti ya Rigiji na William Ruto. Huyu anapangia wake vile atamfuta longi chini.
Alikuwa atakaenda chini.
Yes. Ule alikuwa na kinga wake. Let's be honest. Mkutaka hii maneno ya William Ruto must go. It's your news. Na hata akienda. So what? What's the problem? Hiyo unasikia wanasema William Ruto must go. Ni kwa sababu ya hii fitina sisi kama viongozi. Wala, acha nikuulize Ngugi. Hii kiti yako hii ni TV ama sasa ni nini? Ndio inaelekea kwa TV. Umeanza chini ya mwaka moja. Nikuulize, hata mwaka mbili itakuwa imekuwa complete. Hata mwaka tatu itakuwa imekuwa complete.
Bado itakuwa inaenda.
Si bado unaunganisha mawaya, unaunganisha mpaka siku ile itashikana. Sasa huyu mtu ako na 2.5 years. Amejaribu sana. Amelipa Eurobond, amestabilize uchumi, ndio yeye ana manyumba yake anangangana, masoko yake anangangana, ile alipromise wa mama anafanya nini? So tumpatie tu time. Na ikifika hiyo 2027, Wakenya pia sio wajinga sana. Wakenya
jali, najua kuna watu naona wanatufundisha kazi, sijui nini, we know what to do. Hiyo barabara tuliahidi, lazima tuijenge. Si namna hiyo? Ndio tuwe na uhusiano mzuri na wananchi. Ile kitu hatutaki ni uchochezi. Kwa sababu wakati tumesema tutajenga hiyo barabara, hatukusema tutajenga kwa wiki moja ama mwezi moja ama miezi miwili. Tulisema mtuchague between 2022 2027 tutafanya barabara. Kwani 2027 imefika? So kisirani ni ya nini?
Why are people very angry? The Ruto must go wave is an expression of the public. The public are expressing themselves. And I don't see exactly why someone needs to be agitated. Look at how Sifuna, Muturi and the leaders were scrambling to get the attention of the president. Look at this video. That was I think he attended some event in Nairobi. I think that was a request for the Pope in Nairobi. That was Holy Family Basilica. So he was there, and you could see as Sifuna, there is that Muturi and other leaders, and you could see the pleasantries and the way he was received. It is true that even Murkomen are feeling uncomfortable that the person talking to the youth is Uhuru Kenyatta. And this thing is here. Let me tell you, even on Monday, BBC is supposed to release publish a documentary on the faces of police who killed young people last year's general election. And I've always been saying, and I will repeat in this channel, that events of June 2025 should remain as a permanent memory on the lane the country has undergone, the pain. Just the same way Raila Odinga and the team always parades the troubles they went through in the struggle for liberation of the country. I find even the Gen Z, they are right to look at where we've come from, because people shed blood, people lost lives because of fighting for the country. I want to play for you. I want to look for this tweet. Kinuthia. BBC will air a documentary about last year's June anti-finance bill protests tomorrow. That will be on Monday. Although, through the trailer of that documentary, they clearly underscore that those otherwise peaceful protests were infiltrated by external actors. BBC doesn't fall short of blaming those external forces. Sadly, the BBC stopped being an actual journalistic organization that has been completely pro-regime fail in Africa. Don't even waste your time tomorrow. Now, even if you want to discredit BBC, the whole government bloggers, they cannot manage. That is a household name in media. They cannot manage to discredit. And you look, and I'm showing you that. So I was showing you that so that you see how those in government are a bit terrified about the voice of the young people. The country should never forget. But then, Uhuru made this running call. Why the government is uncomfortable with this call for the young people to come out by Uhuru Kenyatta is this. They understand, Uhuru understands that the Gen Z population is going to disarm President Ruto the ethnic card. And let me tell you, the president is campaigning on 2027 elections through an ethnic mobilization scheme. Now, and in my own observation, even Rigathi Gachagua has said they're bringing Kalonzo, Matiang'i, and others together. You and I know very well that both camps are looking at the tribal arithmetic. In fact, Rigathi have said it in public about the numbers. But one of the questions that is yet to be answered by either of the both sides is about what they stand for. What exactly they stand for. Of course, Ruto must go is one and is the principal objective of the opposition coalition. But after Ruto must go, what do you stand for? That answer has not been given. And even President Ruto doesn't have an answer as to what he tends to stand for in 2027. So, when Uhuru Kenyatta tells the young people to come out, he's going to disarm those characters who want to mobilize around tribes. And I've been saying, and I've been warning the Rigathi Gachagua team, William Ruto, the state resources, is only going to be easily beatable when you disarm him with the tribal card. Otherwise, if people are going to vote based on my tribe and my person is on table, then President Ruto can buy everyone. He can even buy Kalonzo, he can buy that Matiang'i, he can buy everyone, because all politicians have a price. So the best is to disarm it with the ethnic card by making sure you raise the profile of the young people. Number two, Uhuru message disabuses the fake unity called by President Ruto. And today, let me explain for you. When the president brought that BBG, that broad-based arrangement with Raila, he's talking about unity. But he's not talking about, it is not unity that the country is to be united. That unity is just a language, but what he wants is, unite with me so that we build the country. And when you unite with me, you don't need to criticize me. That is why, when Orengo raises a point, when Nyong'o is questioning Ruto, the other Kabbalah saying, you are undermining the president because the president is uniting the country. I've been saying this. We are not living in tribal caves. We are not divided in any nature. It is the politicians who are dividing the country. And so, this unity that the president is talking about is not what will change the country. What will change the country is disunity between the president and the people, so that the people can be asking, hii haijafanyika, hii haijafanyika. But the unity that the president envisions is a unity of yes sir, of president worship. You net with me, you don't question me. Number 3, Uhuru Kenyatta voice consolidates the anti-Ruto wave. There is a wave of Ruto must go. And if you're constructing it as the wave, you're wrong. This wave is in this country, unless you want to deny it. But who is going to consolidate it? Uhuru consolidates it. And lastly, Murkomen understands that what Uhuru is saying, the Mount Kenya is listening. Mount Kenya is listening. And that is why they are very uncomfortable with Uhuru Kenyatta. Thank you.